Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 3, where today we are cleaning up the mess that the game created for us yesterday. I was able to make contact with that point of interest in the sea here. As you can see, Sergei is able to fight some foes for a great hoard of treasure, and I think we probably ought to do it. First of all, it's going to be an easy fight, as we well know. And secondly, we could really use the XP. The treasure itself, like the money part, whatever. But I do want the experience points. We probably don't need to take the healing here. I guess let's just take the extra money, even though it's a very small amount, because he's going to be sailing through allied water soon enough. Like, he's going to get the healing for free anyway.
Oh yeah.
May as well take the extra $600 that we are entitled to. And you have only Pit of Shades still to learn. Well, let's do so.
Bow to me. Row with endless vigor.
Is this I guess is the site of our, the Requiem Spirit crest battle. Weird. Okay, well, anyway, I'm a little annoyed about the fact that we apparently still can't see the edges of our movement range. Bretonia is even further from wanting a defensive alliance than they were before. But as soon as we hit this coastline, we'll get our healing. Sure would be nice, though. So there is one really important difference between this game and what we were doing yesterday. The game autosaves at the end of every turn. So I reloaded from the end of from the end of turn 99, let the enemies take their turn cycle, and this time we didn't see through Wulfric's ambush, so we can't attack him. So I guess Mother Ostankia is going to have to do something else. We're going to set the tower to burn, and then he's going to roll in and take it over, which is like a little bit annoying, but whatever. So what can Mother Ostankia do? Right, I don't get to actually know because we can't see the edges of anybody's movement areas. This is maybe my least favorite bug, and it's a real bummer. It's a real bummer that it's happening again.
I switch.
Well, I don't think we're changing anything about Zorya's turn. Zorya can move up to, like... That's right, I just threw her into encampment mode and walked as far into the swamp as we could. I think that remains the move.
I approve.
And for Mother Ostankia, it looks like we could reach Lamont. I don't expect we'd actually be able to fight him. Like, he'll run, right? But I'm not afraid of Hubas. I'm not afraid of Vigo. Yeah.
Feed.
Oh, interesting. He did not flee, despite the fact that this is a totally free kill. I'll tell you what, though. We're going to do this manually because I'm a little worried that, well, it says casualties low. Generally speaking, I think the auto-resolver deals significantly more damage to our army than is warranted, as you've seen in those last couple of battles we fought. Anything where the enemy doesn't have sufficient numbers, we just kind of don't take damage at all. The witches are able to do a huge amount of the fighting before they even get into contact with us. But when it says casualties low, it's usually pretty good about it. Let's just... Yeah, that's fine. I don't know how they figure the spiders are taking all that damage, but whatever. Okay, and then how much movement do I have left? I have, like, no movement left. There is a question as to whether or not we should hit March mode here.
Just an old wound.
If I put us into channeling mode, we'll just build up Winds of Magic. I mean, the Winds of Magic meter in this area is already pretty high, the power reserve. I think we can just leave it. I am going to March mode. I am going to go as far to the road as it will let us get. And they can just know. They can just know what they are up against. The two of these armies together, I don't think, could take us down. All right, who's left?
I switch.
You are also headed to a point of a point of interest. You are also going to get some free XP. Yep, once again, pretty easy battle. This time they have cannons, but we have even also cannons. I was gonna say even more, but actually, a single unit of cannons for them is 3 cannons, and we only have 2 in total. Whatever, it's fine. And once again, we're gonna get healed for free, so let's take the small amount of money. So army's picking up followers and also a banner that is like totally fine. It's good. Income from all buildings up by 10% for the entire faction for 6 turns.
Sister,
I don't know
of
exactly how much money that's going to work out to be, but it's good.
take the water.
Okay. So yeah, once we cross this line here, we're going to be in
Take you.
sea territory. Oh no, sorry. We have to get over to Wrecker's Point before it'll... I don't know where exactly the line in the water is, but we're headed in its direction in any case.
Storm summoner.
Okay, you are getting real close to your arcane conduit, which will be wonderful.
Wield it.
You are learning important enfeeblements, critical enfeeblements. All right. How
You
close are
are
we
best
to...
and feeble.
We are 1 point off, or 1 turn off of a Jinx land. How's this going?
Goya.
Oh, you're basically ready. Where's the, Didn't we have a man sailing? Oh, yeah.
Patriarch of Kislev.
Okay, so he won't quite be in position.
Strength through faith.
We're probably going to do the same Salyuk thing that we did with the others. Right, I think that makes sense. So yeah, this army won't quite be ready to teleport next turn when the teleport is available, but they'll be close. Let's, once again, go and replace Vasily with the Ice Witch that we trained for this purpose.
Power is my right. March. There is no alternative.
You know, y'all can just sail out. They'll
The blizzard.
be able to collect Leonid next turn and then be teleported. Natalia is very nearly immortal off of her very good map work. Let's go ahead and knock this over.
I have the sight.
Can she reach that this turn?
A lung sickness.
Not quite. Very nearly.
Emissary of the Ice Court.
Yeah. Reduce the cooldown of Salyuk's Lullaby on Zoya's Patriarch, now that we have all of this extra XP.
Kislev will blink.
And still we are upgrading docks. Always and forever, there are more docks to be upgraded. What else do we want to build at the Monument of the Moon? Wait, where is this one? This is the one that's all the way on this coast. Honestly, like, building a church here would not be a terrible idea as an easier way to get access to patriarchs. Okay, that upgrade is probably actually of pretty marginal, like pretty limited value. Okay, the Griffin Wood actually does need to get upgraded because, like, I would eventually like to use it as a stronghold against these vampires. We're definitely teleporting the new army to the Griffin Wood rather than to Lorelorn. Okay. Oh yeah, there's basic buildings that we've just constructed in Lorelorn that also need upgrades, and okay, that's almost it. It turns out we make a lot of money in a turn, and we go through every single red dime of it. All right, let's see what Vigo and Hubas do about this situation. They might hurl themselves at Mother Estancia. They might do it one by one. No, Hubas is just abandoning him. Well, that's pretty good news for us. Wulfric is going to take control of the Tower of Crack, which is a bummer. It's just going to make him slightly more difficult to remove. It's not a big deal. And my guess is that with Hubas abandoning him, Vigo probably doesn't do anything this turn. He probably just sits inside Erengrad and tries to muster. We saw Wolfric at the beginning of this sequence of enemy turns. Apparently, it's not the most useful time for that to occur. I could have moved Natalia in his direction and seen if like adding one more unit to the area would have given us another site roll. I'm a little unclear on the precise mechanics of that. But in the end, I don't know that it matters really. What's up, Katep? Okay. If anything, that's probably only improving my position, because the elves were probably giving us a minor diplomatic penalty for having a treaty of any kind with an enemy of theirs. I wonder what would cause him to do that. Does he think he's going to attack my territory and like take new settlements as a way of stanching the bleeding somewhat? Alright, so the Empire's moving forces in a way that makes me believe they might be able to contain the vampiric push north. And a couple of different Empire factions doing an okay job moving in. Orcs hurling themselves at the Imperials and being dashed against the rocks. Ooh, this looks rough though. Yeah, it turns out there are a lot of vampires down here in Sylvania. Who would have thought? It feels like the orcs are not actually getting anything accomplished themselves. They're just they're wiping themselves out over and over again, weakening enemies so that either the vampires or the Empire can take them out afterward. Okay. Vigo was replaced by Azazel, and indeed, he went nowhere. This will be a good opportunity for the new girl to get trained up. We'll have Mother Astankia move into a support position and have the new girl take Erengrad so that she can get the trait off of Azazel. What is going on here? It's very difficult for me to imagine the situation that warrants that number of stacks being in the same place. Yep, all yours, sadly. Oh. Well, I was burning it down anyway. That seems like a terrible waste. That's inconvenient for us, but the Empire's already on the way to fix it. And in any case, these armies that set out so long ago are in fact going to be the ones who get here last due to, you know, the magic of the teleportation. So, like I say, Mother Astankia moves into support position. Natalia goes and harasses this army.
Enervation shall be their lot.
Alright, all of their troops are very tired. Everybody's feeling mad sleepy. And then we just show up with these vastly superior numbers and 4 massive cannons, all of them properly leveled up, and yeah, should be a pretty trivial auto-resolve victory.
Winter fights with us today. I will make it elegant.
And like I said, it is quite unfortunate because it is going to lead to all the buildings in Erengrad being all fucked up. But we have permanently removed the ecstatic legions from the game now.
Bluest of blood.
Yep, just get to restart this whole process over again. What fun!
Which?
And Mother Astankia is receiving very considerable heals. You know, let's put her in. Let's put her in ambush mode. She'll sit here and heal up, and if Hubas wants to make a thing about it, she can devour him.
Frostweave.
That'll make her army feel better. So, big speed reduction on all enemies for 12 seconds when casting. What do we care most about among these things? This feels like a fair amount of damage, I guess. 26. Her army is still, well, it's not as spidery. So the big charge bonus is maybe not as exciting.
What would Kislev be without winter?
Yeah, I guess Gust of True Flight then is probably the right. She has so many ranged units. I don't know what I'm thinking. Of course, it's Gust of True Flight. And then we'll take a point of Biting Wind as well, just to be able to move out of the box.
Such power, such elegance.
You can start working on your own combat skills. I like the way the Patriarchs start out as basically like a buff bot, and then they evolve into something a little bit more powerful. Okay. Let us go and... Sergei gets to make it all the way to here.
The ice goals.
Let's not actually touch the point of interest because we won't be able to pick it up at this speed. Yeah, hopefully Karl Franz is close enough to Wrecker's Point that I think he'll get it back this turn. Why is your elemental at 3 HP? What on earth happened? Okay, so we had been working in the Spirit of Kislev box. We got our Imperial efficiency down, which is, you know, cool. What do we want now? Melee attack up for units that really don't need bonus melee attack. Missile resistance for everybody's exciting. We don't really need more boxes for global recruitment. In the places where we recruit, we have so many boxes for local recruitment. And I think I would take this before I would take the melee attack bonus. They already do such good damage. Fire attacks and ammunition up for Lil Grom is also kind of interesting. But yeah, let's fortify not the land so much as the creatures of it.
Unwavering duty. Warm your hearts with
Y'all join up. Let's teleport you to the Griffinwood.
Ice Witch.
Okay. Yep, just hang out here for a sec.
For the Ice Court.
We certainly don't need to send them north.
The snow.
The Griffinwood is as upgrading as it's getting. Set these up as well. So as soon as Mother Astunkia's army is back in proper shape, we can pursue that quest battle and see about that 5th hex. And once we have done so, only then can you unleash the Malediction of Ruin, thus achieving a long victory. I guess we'll see.
Bride of the Ice.
It's a pretty loose wording. Oh, wait, does it undo my order to abandon the settlement? Did it... The fact that someone attacked it made them want to abandon it less? Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Okay, we do have a trade resource here that we can boost. That's nice. Oh, okay. Allied recruitment of a selection of units from the faction's global recruitment, plus a bonus to our the replenishment of our units in the area. Let's get income from buildings up here. And is that really... I guess we only have... I was going to say, is that really all the buildings that need upgrades? Because, like, what about the elf stuff? But yeah, we have 200 gold left, right? That'll do it, in fact. So let's start putting together some more curses here. This time, focusing on things that we actually will benefit from. Things that we want to use in the quest battles and whatnot. I really do like Typhlosis. I think Typhlosis is an extremely powerful one. So we have 2 yellow and 2 white things, so we can set up 2 Typhlosis curses per turn now. Let's have one of them, well, sort of like the superior version with the physical resistance penalty. And then we can tack something else on here. Speed down is not terrible. Versus like, yeah, blue stuff to reduce the effectiveness of the units when they get to us. Let's do one with a speed down. And then this will be sort of the lesser version. This one will nuke the damage output of the enemies and make them weak to fire damage or spell damage, I guess. And then we still have green, blue, purple left over.
They will miss this.
Sure, I guess. This seems fine.
Your men
Just make some stuff that'll be annoying to deal with. It's nice to be able to produce multiple copies of like the thing you think is most important. And honestly, thinking about that, perhaps I should have prioritized getting more of those trinkets, the whites and the yellows. So the Legion of Chaos is definitely much reduced since we showed up here. But I think they still own a huge amount of territory, because like that's their stuff up there. Hopefully between us and the Ice Court, we can start like hacking away at that in a pretty serious way. Yep, there's the Khemri losing all of their everything. And once the elves are done with the Khemri, they will have enough border territory with the northern Dark Elf and Chaos factions that they should be able to turn their attention to that instead of to us. Which is always like, you never want to be the only thing the elves have to pay attention to, even if you are friends, because they will decide that you are the next nail. In this game, as in so many others, you really, it seems like a terribly bad idea to trust elves. This is a principle that has held me in good stead since the EverQuest days. Nope, apparently not quite enough movement to pick it up in one turn. Well, that's a bummer, because I would like the healing, please. So we're about to have 5 armies over here. And realistically, we do have the money for a 6th, probably. We do still maintain the income, even with all of these troops, so I probably should start putting together another Ice Witch. And that can be the army that plays defense if we need to defend the stuff over in the west. If anyone should get frisky enough to try to do something. And of course, we can always just, cheat armies across the world very easily. Now that we're as far, extended as far east as we are, we have access to that sea route there as well. Okay, Valkia the Bloody in full retreat. God, imagine all the work that number of Bretonnian armies could do if they were just interested in doing anything at all. Is Wolfric gonna... Okay, Wolfric burns down the tower for me. Thanks, I guess. This is probably a better line overall than the one we were running at the end of the last episode, where I take the time out of my day to stomp on Wolfric a little bit. Or Wolfric. It's just a lot safer. Okay. Well, that makes things easier. Hell, we could even roll in and take that over, use it to replenish, and then just hand it to the men of the Empire as we leave. Okay, the Tower of Croc was raised. Despite all my attempts to raise it, it was finally raised. We're not anywhere near close enough. It'll be gone by the time we get there.
Son, this is my
right.
right.
Your job to pick this up. It's, you know, half an army worth of undead pirates. Who could have foreseen this?
Of ice. Leave them the stuff.
So we get that stuff, plus some treasury, plus some bonus XP. That's what I'm most excited about.
Of the motherland.
All right, so we got our Deadly Onslaught. I really wish that when the thing you get is like a single ability or a spell, it could just put the details in the tooltip there. But yeah, awfully handy, especially for somebody who's on the back of a war bear. Do we want to grab any other yellow line stuff right now, or do we want to maybe move into the blue line? We could pick up some more red stuff. What exactly is in this army? So it's a lot of Akshina spiders who are not really affected by the thing. There's some bear units, though.
No higher.
The bears covered by creatures of the land? Yeah, they are. So you kind of have all of the red line buffs that are relevant already. Yup. If we were to take some blue stuff, we'd basically just be going for like lightning strike. You know, there's something to be said for that. So if we are going to take blue line, I guess, I think everything in this box, this first box, is kind of irrelevant to us. But lightning strike is worth the work. Alright, so now that we've done that, move as quickly as possible in this direction. It will be friendly by the time we get there.
Frostweaver, if the frost asks. Sail on!
Now, if this turns out to be a battle, alright. Perform better on the campaign map. Okay, upkeep reduction, pretty whatever. I was going to say, if this turns out to be a battle, we'll probably have to do it manually to avoid the incarnate being killed.
Row for me.
Curdling milk.
Alright, Stunkin needs a turn.
Mistress of the blizzard.
And we probably want to, like, what is the state of this faction? They're very weak, but they own 16 territories across the entirety of the north, and also extending up into like proper chaos place, like the places where the laws of physics start to get a little weird. So we should probably ride on him. Does the castle itself, is this worth taking? That's a meaningful garrison expansion. What is the settlement? It's part of Troll Country. So I don't know. It probably makes more sense just to let the Ice Court have it, or give it to them. I mean, but we should probably threaten them at least. Again, I don't have a lot of respect for that army the way he's constructed it, so I'm gonna
Follow the path.
get pretty aggressive on them.
Discretion must be employed.
Mother Astankia will just hang out inside the settlement, get a little bit more recovery, and we'll go after the quest battle next turn,
Sister.
even if we're not 100% full. And now that we're here, what do we want to do? I don't think I want to run her north. I think north is under control. I think I might just have her hang out for a minute, because I think what I'm going to do is probably run Mother Astankia south, let these two armies combined with Zoya handle the northern campaign, and then Mother Astankia and Zoria can handle the southern campaign. If there's one thing I know, it's that it is a good idea to open up a two-front war in an area that is geographically and climate-wise approximately Russia and Eastern Europe. So, to that end, I guess just hang out for a minute. We will come up with critical goals for you later.
Speak to me.
Natalia will probably be an important part of this northern campaign. Just be fucking with people, basically.
A drop in
She's very good. Oh, okay. I was about to say she's very good at messing with opposing armies at this point, but she wounded herself attempting to curse mark that army. She was so close to immortality. She's still going to get it, but now it's going to take a lot longer. As though she were trying to prove to everyone, no, in fact, I am not competent. Well, you got me. All right. Does any place... No place has an upgrade available that it can afford. We do have a purification chant available here. Does it make sense to... I mean, if Erengrad has any corruption, it's losing it rapidly. The Griffin would probably the same.
Will of the blizzard.
Yeah, we just don't really need... We'll hold on to it. And we don't have anybody in our area to Coven's Curse Mark, so okay, fine. Like I said, let's go ahead and start training a new Ice Witch, Michaela. And let's do this thing again.
our foes lost.
Typhlosis is just very good. I think I did melee attack, right?
To hold it all. Sympathy.
Okay.
My magic has.
Yeah, I don't know how many Typhlosis incantations it's going to take to like really shift a battle. But the fact that we can build 2 of them every turn suggests to me that we could probably do a battle like enough to shift a battle every 3 or 4 turns, and that feels like a pretty big deal. It's such a huge debuff. I mean, obviously there are forces where it's going to be less meaningful. Forces where you're losing your army mostly to their ranged damage and stuff. In theory, if we were ever to face a properly built, like full-size vampire pirate force, especially one that was fairly reliant on like rifle walls, that could be a real problem for us. One that would not be solved by Typhlosis. They'd have to have some kind of solution for the fact for the spider ambushes, though. Yeah, just like a bunch of fast moving, essentially shock cavalry with stalk. It's just like really difficult to deal with. Okay. Khemri are fighting back a little bit. The elves are not doing a good job of guarding the places where their empires are close together. This is a thing that the AI does that I don't really understand, where they group their armies very strangely. And they'll move together as a unit until the moment when moving together as a unit would be useful, and then they'll just like spread out and run to opposite corners of the area, and it's very strange. It's very strange stuff. All right, the Golden Order winning kind of some victories, but then not bothering to hold them. They're getting pretty close to the vampire capital. It may be the case that by the time Mother Estankia would be ready to come down here and do stuff, she just won't be necessary anymore. So that right there, that is the proper Chaos Warriors force coming down from the north. That is a little bit of a concern. They can be pretty tough, and they have very little interest in holding territory. They just wanna like sweep through an area and lay it all to waste. The fact that they don't want to play defense means that a lot of the ways you use to ordinarily control a force's spread don't really apply. Okay. This is a bizarre move on his part. I will just take the auto-resolve victory. I think the problem with Wulfric, and to the game's credit, I think this is a really great way of representing his character, is that he is so mad that we killed him that he will just he will just absolutely hurl himself at us over and over again in ways that don't make any sense, even though all it's going to do is kill him repeatedly. Just, he is rage first, thoughts never. It's good character work. So it probably makes sense for us to make landfall at the Empire's stuff up there. Okay, Zoya's ambush was foiled. That is certainly true. She beat up Wulfric the Wanderer, learned how to fight infantry better. Her gaining a charge bonus probably does not help us very much. Michaela, which one do we need more of? I don't know. Tempest. I like Tempest. Yeah, it probably makes sense for us to make landfall at Wrecker's Point and just ride across. Maybe we want to come on shore at Dietershafen. I think we won't get healed in the water over here because its control of it is split. But we do get healed on land. Let's just stay in the water until we get to the actual road.
Raise anchor.
I am the storm.
Okay. Sent forward the healthier army first just to scout. It seems like it is okay for us to approach. It is a little bit strange that all the hag witches get one built-in cast, one built-in bound cast of Assault of Earth. They don't learn the spell. They get the single fire cast of it. Okay, I think we're ready to attempt that quest battle. So we got to step outside here. Also, a little bit of this probably would be a good idea. Someday we will get this built up enough that it will be able to hold out against an attacker. It's gonna occur. You may as well level up real quick. That's actually kind of a lot of XP, huh? I'm surprised by that, because that army wasn't that big. So the Hawks of Miska, a big discouraging explosion. 21 seconds of that much leadership loss is actually pretty significant. Yeah, you know what? Let's learn Hawks first. I don't think I've ever seen that spell before.
It aids my ice mastery.
So that'll be neat. That'll be a fun new thing. You're gonna learn this. There was a point of replenish available that I did not take. Whatever, it's fine. I was kind of hoping this Ice Court army was going to ride forward to assist us. No such luck.
What fool dares touch me?
But Hubas's army is weak. I think we can take him. I think we can do this.
Snowbringer.
We're not in perfect health. I probably will just pull the Incarnate from the battlefield immediately.
I serve.
But yeah, I think we can still handle this. In fact, the game really thinks we can handle this.
We are Kislev's finest.
So yeah, let's roll in here. We'll go ahead and take this
Their coffers belong.
just to hand it over. Even more relations bonus. I'm sure that you don't get multiple copies of that relations bonus with Kislev. Okay, we have caught a plague, of course, as ever.
The ice calls.
I guess that makes sense as kind of a fun in-character justification for Wulfric burning down the Tower of Crack as well. He was just like, oh, they touched it. I won't have it in my empire. You know what? We should get the point of replenishment. So yeah, we'll just hand this over next turn. It only matters to us that the Legion not have it.
Demon.
Okay, so let's do the Astanka thing. So where is that? No, not this panel. Hold on, collapse this thing entirely. The Requiem Spirit. So the enemy force looks like a pretty easy one to take down. There's some things here that are cool. You know, the giant zombie ship thing. They have spooky ghost knights and whatever. but it's a lot of just like crummy zombie troops. I'm curious what the reinforcements are going to be like. Maybe I should have done our Typhlosis moves first, but whatever. So, speed, ranged, physical resistance. Yeah, let's drop your range. This thing has range like a siege weapon. Hopefully we can get it to come a little bit closer. And then, honestly, few of their troops are even worth putting debuffs on. We can throw some more Typhlosis on, yeah, some of these more impressive units, I guess. Sirens are ghostly, so they have a very significant physical resistance. That's also true, I believe, of the Cairn Wraiths. Okay, it's not quite as significant there. Still high, though. And then, do we have any copies left of that one that does damage over time? No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, this should probably be sufficient. Oh, I guess I should Typhlosis their melee combat heroes. That's a lot of bonus stat loss there. Okay, let's try it like this. And I have a huge amount of Frost Wyvern's Toil, which is still not really that relevant here. Yeah, let's fight it like this. So obviously we're going to try to use the witches to do a lot of the work here. Our little coven of mobile artillery. I think I've been thinking about the Bear Spirit as sort of like a ranged damage spell a lot, but that's not really the role that it fills, right? I'm a little worried about the fact that the loading screen didn't come up right away. What is going on with this thing? We'll give it a second. I think that I am supposed to be thinking about the Bear Spirit essentially as a cannon shot. Well, a mortar shot, more specifically. It is like it arcs up and it hits the ground and it explodes like a cannon shot, like a mortar shot. So I should be, instead of trying to hit large, significant targets with it, I should be trying to put it sort of in the middle of a group of enemies. And yeah, it does seem like we are frozen here. Yep, there's the crash. Okay, cool. It's really annoying. All right, I'm gonna pause the recording, and I'll bring you all back in once I've got us actually loaded into the battle. Hopefully, which hopefully is a thing I can do. We'll see in a second. Okay, well, the loading screen appeared this time. I think that's probably a good sign. So, the graves of Sylvania are rife with the wandering undead, where wraiths and rotten corpses pose a constant threat to the unwary. It is rare that one would seek them out, yet Mother Ostankia remains unfazed by the armies of undeath. Her plan for these ghastly creatures is clear. Slay the foul hordes to set their spirits free. We are not anywhere near Sylvania. Once their souls roam untethered, they can finally be broken, forced and enthralled into her service as soldiers in an army of ghosts. I guess technically the banner on these pirates indicates that they are part of a vampire pirate faction rather than a normal undead faction. So I guess it makes more sense that they would be at sea. All right, so this thing, yeah, it has siege range. That's a little annoying for us. It is going to be able to shoot at the witches as they are attempting to do their thing. We are not going to be able to set up quite the way I would like here. I'm going to use Vanguard deployment to... My guess is we're going to see some shenanigans, right? We're going to set up like way back here. Most of our units are going to set up way back here. We're going to be... Oh, you don't have... Excuse me. You don't have Vanguard deployment. You can't do that. The Patriarch will stand with them for buffing. Also for Kislev, you know. You can stand over here with them as well. The things in the woods don't have Vanguard deployment either. But they can be like here. Ready to duck into the trees. And then yeah, the witches are gonna just roll forward this way and harass as best we can. I'm expecting shenanigans from the edges of the map, so I'm trying to build for that. And I guess as before, just for ease of targeting. Alright, let's do the thing. Let's find out what happens. These spirits have been bound to this isle for years.
Those impudent fools. They think themselves strong. Right.
Alright, the Banshee is our actual target. Or no, it's probably all of the heroes.
The dark shadows, the vile woods. They will learn, won't they?
Wow, that's a lot of damage. Holy hell. Alright, so can I ground target? I am not allowed to ground target the Bear Spirit. Well, I'm going to shoot it at this unit in the hopes that if she fires it behind them like she often does, it'll hit those ones at least. Here comes the cannon fire. Okay, no, she delivered that very directly. Okay, so this is a group up of a bunch of ethereal units. They are very resistant. Oh, I guess that was a normal attack, not the soul crash. They are very physical damage resistant, but as you might imagine, they are not magical damage resistant, and they tend to have much lower health than normal units. So I think this is going to be pretty fucked up. We'll head everybody back, but you know. We'll see what we can do about heading everybody back. The casting may just have to... Yeah, it'll do a little bit of damage to individual bodies. It's much more effective against the grouped up enemies here. Pretty good shooting. That's a fun direction for that to wander in. Sort of catch these the corner of these guys as they do. Okay, she is pretty stuck. We're gonna have to stay in and do something about that. So first things first, let's set up the mushroom heal. Secondly, I don't necessarily want to drop a ton of like actual damage here. We could give her Pan's impenetrable pelt. Her combat stats are kind of holding her up as it is. It's not that she desperately needs help. Unit winning decisively is a fair way to describe the thing that's occurring. But also, why not, right? Why not give her a little push? And she can do something fun over here. We could just Doom and Darkness. Just set up a nightmare zone where it is impossible for our enemies to have any kind of morale at all. Alright, then let's try to send the Bear Spirit in against this gunnery mob, who are probably going to mostly stand still once they get in range. Okay. There it goes, and yes, good shooting. Alright, so their damned paladin is in here. That's a thing to perhaps be a little concerned about. Try to line some of this up in front of them. The paladin has... Actually, never mind. I was going to say, as a paladin, he's going to have pretty good combat stats. But that was before we cursed him, before we incanted upon him. Now he is a joke. It's not a bad area for a flock of doom. That's kind of a lot of troops. Most of the rest of their units aren't really doing anything in particular, so good solid rock fall. Do another one of those. Just keep their units separated as much as possible. A little damage resistance. Yeah, the rock falls doing the important work of keeping them separated more than anything else. Oh, they're close enough that they're They're starting to take damage from some of our stuff. They're trying to bring their gunnery mob around, but the ground here is kind of uneven. Like those direct fire pistols just don't have a shot, while our arc fire weapons are able to do the thing very easily. All right, I was waiting for them to get a little bit closer before attempting the sun again. Although we don't have that much magic. I can't do an improved sun, so maybe we just don't do it at all. Because these are mostly pretty crummy units. Yeah, I think we just keep winning the melee fight. Our ranged units will keep doing this thing. The witches are taking a little bit of damage. One of you has a potion of toughness. Actually, you know what? This is probably a fine time to use these. So the things that are on the witches now are a little bit more substantial, but they don't have a lot of defense. And so a charge on their rear should do the job pretty easily. Yeah, you can see them breaking. Let's get another mushroom heal out here. We can Spirit Bear. I guess it's worth doing. See if I can get a nice artillery shot off. We'll see if she'll go for it. Okay, she did manage to cast it. See, she sometimes seems not to be interested when there's too many enemies around. Nope, it rose up and then she put it away again. Weird. Alright, you're starting to get just low enough that I'm like a little worried. Yeah, let's run. Run y'all back. Spirit Knights to the battlefield, huh? So obviously this is not going the way they were hoping. It's just, it's too many enemies to resist. It's such a fun spell. Alright, full focus. Look at that. Look at the health bars. Jesus. So when the thing gets low, its crew dives off. Alright. This is what y'all were waiting for. I'm going to try to pull the things back because they don't have the defenses that the bears have. And let's wheel the ranged fire group around. Okay. I didn't notice the portal on this side. They summoned into the middle of our spiders. We can keep some of the spiders over here and have the others join the battle more formally. I think at this point, I am going to send one unit basically as like a hunter killer. Just go damage that guy. That Morgul Spirit, do we know? Okay, so the Morgul Spirit has stalk. We haven't seen it since the beginning of the battle. We don't know actually exactly where it is. This unit of armored Kossars took an awful lot of damage from something. I'm assuming magic must have been involved. No, you know what? I'm gonna let the bulk of the spiders just hold those guys in place, and the witches will turn that way, and that's how we'll handle that.
I go with reverence.
The crew of the giant is just a normal pirate mob, though. Not really anything dangerous. Not something we need to think about. All right, yeah, those are I believe those are like charging cavalry. They're not really built for up close fighting. And I believe the poison damage from our slow death ability is magical, not physical. So I don't think we're gonna need the witches to turn around after all. I think the spiders have just got it. All right, the various knights errant over here have just been completely shredded. Yeah, this is just a grim time in the lives of our opponents, or the on lives of our opponents. You lot, right up. More reinforcements, huh? Are you sure? Because we have killed their necromancer. Yeah. Okay. I think the idea there was that there would continue to be stuff as long as the necromancer was alive. Obviously, that is a problem that the spiders were able to deal with in short order. Yeah, one of our witches I definitely left in there. One of them does not have a potion of toughness on her because she didn't take that ability, and she is the one that I probably should be a little bit more cautious with. She's also the one that casts the Dark Sun, so obviously it is a great deal of fun to have her forward like that. Yeah, I had to say I am a little surprised at how poorly the knights fared against the spiders in the forest. Like, having a bunch of ghost knights, those chargy cavalry Bretonnian ghost knights show up in a forest inside a group of enemies is already pretty bad news for them. It's like the most not optimal position you can imagine. But even so, I am surprised by how quickly the spiders dealt with them. So some of our spider units are actually hitting max rank, which is... These are the last things in the army to need leveling. Overall, I'm really pleased with this composition. I was worried that that holding on to the composition of the army from before we had access to cannons might feel bad, but honestly, the witches function as like sort of skirmisher cannons in a really fun way. So we could take some replenishment here. We could take a small amount of money. I'll just take the replenishment.
Those foolish enough to strike a deal with a hag find that death is merely the beginning of an unending serfdom. The power to call upon these restless spirits has been found. A hex to haunt unknowing foes, now in the Coven's hands.
And that is the 5. The 5 forbidden hexes have been assembled, each piece a scattered fragment of a grand and sinister whole. Together they reveal a most baleful hex, capable of bringing calamity to an entire race. They call it the Malediction of Ruin. Should I be doing that? That seems potentially irresponsible. Oh, right, I forgot we were going to get that replenishment boost. I didn't need to take replenishment off of that battle. So I am to cast it. Yes, this is my objective. Wait, that's the wrong button. I want this thing and then that thing. Seems like okay. So all units will suffer high attrition. Wins of magic power reserve, dramatically reduced for all of their stuff. Growth way down. Honestly, that doesn't seem so bad. I wonder if that's as bad as the Requiem Spirit, where you're just like summoning armies all over their territory all the time. But we do need to cast it, so you. Oh, I have to target somebody's capital. Well, I want to target this guy's capital, but I guess we've never seen it, so I can't. Because obviously, like, this is a faction. Oh, I'm allowed to target these. These aren't capitals. Weird. I really want to turn it on the Chaos Demons, but okay, yeah, I'll shoot Wolfric with it. Fine.
All falls apart.
Okay.
Kislev is come.
Never before.
Malediction. It is all.
Mother Estankia had a lot more to say than I thought. Never before has the world seen such a collection of forbidden hexes, each a powerful maelstrom of dark magic in their own right. Combined into the Malediction of Ruin, they have the power to potentially erase all wickedness befouling the land, bringing the forces of corruption to calamity. With a target chosen and the ritual set in motion, all manner of dark forces descend, seeking to interfere out of desperation to avoid their inevitable doom. Hold the forces of evil back. Once the ritual is complete, the land shall be cleansed of their filth forevermore. So all Norskin factions will be severely impaired. We just have to fight a battle where a whole bunch of men of the Empire are going to show up because they just sort of generally don't like dark magic. How dare they? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's sort of like just in the Black Forest area. Well, we're not quite ready for that because we do need Mother Ostanka's army to take a turn of healing. So that can be next turn.
I switch.
Zoria doesn't really want to move, I don't think. And then we just have 30,000 gold to spend.
I switch.
And also, I guess, some skill points. Because, you know,
Only I may wield it.
mentor and whatnot. Alright, it turns out we never will actually get Kislev built up. That's a shame. I guess I must have forgotten to do that stuff before. And the castle we're just abandoning next turn anyway, so we're not going to bother with that. Let us construct some new Typhlosis. Some Typhlosis charms. We'll be able to make 2 more of these before we commit to the battle, right? So
Precious, this one.
we can take 4 of them into it with us, although it didn't look like there was much reason to debuff the enemies we could see at the beginning of that fight.
A touch of that.
All right, and then we still have, like, I could... Yeah. The Ember Dread. We are giving enemies... No, we haven't been giving enemies weakness to fire damage. Well... Whatever.
Saints bearing flaming swords.
We'll make some things that have the weakness to fire damage on them, and that'll be good compensation. Oh, I was allowed to cast the other hex too. I kind of assumed I wouldn't be allowed to after hitting the Malediction of Ruin, because ordinarily we're only allowed to cast 1 hex per turn, but I guess the Malediction is separate. I didn't realize until I was pressing end turn. So we'll fire the other thing too, just to really let the Chaos Demons know who is the boss. And I get the idea that, like, you know, dark magic, whatever, but I really feel like the Empire would probably be okay with me turning this kind of magic, this level of magic, against the Chaos Demons and the Norskins. What if we just sealed up the North forever? So there's still a lot going on in the world. I think our game is coming to an end though, so a lot of this ends up not being the most super relevant. It is still the case. We have one more turn here, which will probably be played out in a separate video for the climactic battle and everything, because I think we're pretty close to the hour. But it is still possible that we will get an apocalyptic interference that will add a victory objective. So we may still have more to do. We might not actually be done. We'll see. Maybe Mother Ostanka just doesn't get the apocalypse event. I mean, who would dare, right? Y'all, could you please just actually take the settlements? Just take the vampires' toys away from them. You know, honestly, the way they're positioning their heroes and stuff, one might almost think that they were preparing to threaten me. You can imagine such foolishness. Okay, the Ice Court is maybe in a tiny bit of trouble. And sadly, we cannot use our remaining hex to help them because the Chaos Warriors don't have any territory. So I can't summon ghost armies in them. One of Kuron's armies is finally leaving the castle. Good for them, I suppose. Way to buck the trend. And yeah, lots of tiny irrelevant factions. We'll take their tiny irrelevant turns. And one Norskin is just like, hey, the North seems completely fucked. I'm out of here. The one smart man in the entire Warhammer Fantasy world. Alright, the Exiles of Nahek are desperately kicking up sandstorms, whatever they can do to try to kick the High Elves out. And yeah, no apocalyptic threat. I think it is about time we focus. But first, out of curiosity, Indomitable Spectres, what does this do? It just makes them stronger. I'm just going to cast the version of the Hex we have now. Being perpetually haunted by the dead is no way to live. So it says, will be summoned in the target settlement's owner's territory. So it shouldn't matter which of the Legion's things we target, it should just summon ghosts on them all the time.
Kislev's lost turncoats will know no grace.
Okay.
Till grief they drive from near our space.
I just wanted to have cast every one of the things, you know. I think that is where we're going to call it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, we have what seems like an awfully climactic battle to fight and a strange assortment of enemies coming to each other's defense in the face of our incredible power. Will we be able to successfully turn it on them and, you know, just kind of like annihilate them entirely from the world? I mean, yeah, probably. It seems likely. Come back to find out, I guess, and we'll see you then.